The National Economic Development and Labour Council, NEDLAC, is holding its 30th annual summit under the theme Advancing Solidarity and Sustainability in the Economy and Labour Market. Deputy President Paul Mashatile was one of the speakers who addressed the gathering. In his address, Mashatile praised the role played by NEDLAC in shaping policies to improve the socio-economic advancement of South Africa. He also acknowledged that there is a serious need to address persistent challenges of poverty, unemployment and inequality. And to discuss this further and to react to the massive job losses in the country, we are now joined by Professor Jannie Rossouw, who's an Honorary Professor at the Wits Business School. Prof, thank you so much for your time this evening here on SABC News. Now, as we see the summit get underway and to address some of the major challenges we are faced with as a country, one of a major concern is the issues around continued job losses in South Africa.
Indeed, Mbali, good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to talk to you. We have major job losses in South Africa. At the heart of it all is the problem that we do not have economic growth in South Africa. Our economic growth for the last 15 or so years has been around 1% per annum on average. Our population growth just over 1.5% per annum. And on that basis, on a per capita basis, we are falling behind population growth, implying that job losses will continue to increase. So the heart of the problem is to get the economy growing again, and we do not see clear plans to achieve that. And over the past 15 years of ANC government, clearly the ANC policies didn't work to get the economy growing.
And Professor, when it comes to economic growth, which is quite pivotal, right, to the issues around creating more employment in the country, what needs to change from government to ensure that we are a country that allows for job creation?
Well, firstly, as Matthew Parks also said, we in the intro you've played, the video, the visuals you've played, we need to sort out our relations with the US. We can't have a situation where the US is one of our major trading partners and our president has a total inability to appoint an ambassador to the USA because there's internal struggles within the ANC. This is a shocking state of affairs. We urgently need the appointment of a South African ambassador in the USA to lead our attempts to improve our trade relations with that country. So we cannot continue on this basis. And in this instance, President Ramaphosa is really letting the country down. Then secondly, to get the economy growing, we will need service delivery. We need service delivery at municipal level. We need to clean our towns. We need to clean our cities. We need running water. We need waste removal, we need streets, we need water supplies, etc., so that businesses can start investing in these towns. And through investment by businesses, we can start creating jobs for our people. But the precondition for investment at local level is local service delivery. And again, this is an area where the ANC has let us down. So I'm sorry to say, but all the problems in the end point back to the ANC.
And Professor, when you look at the amount of job losses we have seen, I mean, we've seen the likes of ArcelorMittal job losses there, and we've seen the likes of even Ford announcing that it may be cutting jobs soon, and the likes of Mercedes-Benz. What other industries can be affected by the impact of our economy that may result in even more job losses?
Well, we already know that Goodyear will close its factory, the tire manufacturing facility in South Africa. That will result in job losses. And we also have to remember that we have large agricultural exports to the USA. Agriculture is a major job creator in South Africa. If we can no longer export agricultural products to the USA, employment in the whole agricultural value chain will be under pressure. And in the case of agriculture, small towns will be very hard hit because the agricultural value chain is often the single most important employer in many of these small towns, like, for instance, Citrusdal, where returns on the exports of citrus products to the USA.
And Professor, when it comes to the impact of job losses on the state of our economy, how dire is that?
Well, it's a dire problem. I mean, on the narrow definition, South Africa has something like a 34% unemployment rate. On the extended definition, we have a 43% unemployment rate, which is a national crisis. We cannot continue in South Africa as if unemployment rates of this nature, these rates are like a new normal. We cannot continue like that, because it raises the dependency ratio of people considerably. And inevitably, these people become dependent on the government through different forms of grants. And grants are funded through taxes raised by the government. And as we've seen earlier this year, government has run out of its ability to raise taxes. It took 3 attempts to get the budget approved by Parliament, because the government no longer has an ability to raise taxes in South Africa. We've reached the limits of the tax burden South African taxpayers can carry.
All right, Professor, thank you so much for your time. That's Professor Jannie Rossouw there, Honorary Professor at the Wits Business School, just talking to us about the jobs crisis facing the country. Also there talking to around the issues around a lack of economic growth, also singling out problems around policy direction in the country.